Okay, so I'll start streaming. And, okay, we've got echo again, I think. So if you search for, Reem, if you search for, you will remember that the happily situated house. I put the text in local chat. Okay. So if you go to the
Yes.
book and then search for that part of the book, it's on about page 75, I think. Okay.
Yeah. Um, 75. Uh, so they choose a hundred sure.
No, it should start with, you will remember that the, here are, this is where it should start. Oh, hang on. Oh,
It's not in 75.
oh, it depends what book you're using. So if you
Just a moment.
search for, you will remember that the happily situated house. Okay.
Yeah, yes. You will remember that the happily stated house where these children were spending their holidays lay between Tilk, Quarry, and Gravel Pit. Fleur and Jenny were more happy full. They generally were. I don't think they smiled that it on process. Curie said, and after all, it was silly to watch for panelists wise. 50 pounds into shilling bases would have been much more sensible. And wishing to be beautiful as the day was simple, donkish. I want, I don't want to disagreeable, agreeable, but it was. We must try to find really useful which um, it. Jimmy dropped his word and said, I think so too. So it's too silly to have a chance like this and not use it. I never heard of anyone also outside a book who had such chance. Chance. There must be simple new piece of things were put which um, for that wouldn't turn out that say fish. Like these two things have. Do let's think hard and which something nice, so that we can have a really jolly day. They were they what there is left of it. Jenny daren't away again like mad. More time was indeed getting on, and everyone began to talk at once. If you had been there, you could not possibly have made head on or tail of the talk. But these children were used to talking by force as soldiers march, and each of them could say what it had to say quite comfortable, and listen to the agreeable sound of its own voice, and at the same time have three quarters of two sharp, sharp ears to spite for listening to what the other says. They, that is an easy example in multiplication of Vlogger fractions. But as I dare see, you can't do even that. I won't ask you to tell me whether three, three, uh, 3 to 4 multiple 2 equal 1 subscript 1 1 to 2. But I will ask you to believe me that this was the amount of year each children was able to lend to the other. Living year was common in time, Roman time, as we learn for Shakespeare. But I am getting too instructive. When the frog was done, the star for the gravel pit was deleted, delayed by Marson in Marcy's insisting on everybody washing its hands, which was nonsense because nobody had been doing anything at all except him. And and how can you getting dirty doing doing nothing? That is difficult question, and I can't answer it on paper. In real life, I couldn't very soon show you, very soon show you, or you me, which is much, which, which is much more likely.
Very
During
good.
the
Okay,
conversation,
stop. Well done. Hi, Shiny. You're welcome. We're always in the cottage for the reading at the moment, but anyway, if I notice you come online, I will try to send you a TP. Okay, so let's have a look. We've got some words here for Reem, but very nicely read, and well done. You're taking your time a bit better, Reem. You're not rushing it, so that's excellent. You do still have a little problem, which we'll have a look at in a moment. Let's do the individual words first. So the first word, okay, we do have the word grave, but this isn't grave, it's gravel. Gravel.
yes, gravel,
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 yes. Small stones, yeah, are gravel. Little stones, okay? So I can send you a picture, actually, I think. I've got a picture of gravel, just to, let me just have a look. See it look. Yeah, that looks like gravel. So let's share that with you. Funnily enough, that's called pea gravel because it's very round, very small little stones, very round. We call it pea gravel. Okay, the next one, hopeful, to be hopeful. Try it.
hopeful,
Yes.
hopeful,
So you've got the verb to hop, which means to jump around on one leg. Then you've got the verb to hope, and then you've got to be hopeful, to hope for something, to be positive about something, I guess. Yeah? I'm very hopeful for our
yes,
Discord sessions.
be hopeful,
That's it. Okay, the next one, wish. You've got to get the softer sh sound rather than the ch. So not like which, yeah, which or which. It's wish.
wish,
Wish. Yeah,
wish.
that's it.
I
Lovely.
guess I make mistake.
You did. You
and
can always,
before.
by the way, you can always watch the stream if it works. Fingers crossed. You can always watch the stream. If you don't agree with me or you think, oh no, I can't have said that, do watch the stream. You can check. And you can tell me on the forum, Lynn, you made a mistake. Give me the timing on the video and I'll decide whether I agree with you or not. Okay, their life's too short for that. Next one, wealth. So it's nice air. Where? Wealth. Try it. Wealth.
Well,
Yeah, it's like well and then s at the end. Wealth.
well,
That's it. Then this next one, interesting term, simply donkeyish. So simply donkeyish. Try it.
simply donkeyish.
Yes.
Simply donkeyish.
That's better. Good. Yeah. Simply. You've got to get the p in the middle. Simple. Simply. And then donkeyish just means stupid. It's so donkeyish. Okay. Next one. To be agreeable. And then the opposite is to be disagreeable. As in just not very nice. So you've got disagreeable. Disagreeable. Try it.
Disagreeable. Disagreeable.
That's better. Good. The second one perfect with the b sound, not the p sound. Yeah, b, not much air. P, more air. Disagreeable. So not much air. Very good. The next one, Shiny seems to be floating above my head at the moment. Dropped. To drop something, and then the past. He dropped it. Try it.
Drop it.
No, silent e. Dropped.
Drop.
Then you've got to get the t ending at the end to show that it's in the past. Dropped.
Drop.
Dropped.
Dropped.
That's better. So it's like dropped. Yeah, you've got that t sounding. Okay, a silent e, but you need that ending to show it's the past. Okay. So the next one, really important. Loads of people get this wrong. Work. Work. Try it.
I'm sorry.
I can hear. You got... So I walk.
Yeah.
Do you want to take a break? Whilst you...
No.
You okay? Okay.
It's okay.
Okay. I walk to work. You've got walk, but work.
I walk to work.
That's better. That's better. Okay. You need to work on it a little bit so it becomes more natural. I walk to work, but just work on that one. That's good. Okay. Next one. Possibly. Possibly.
Possibly.
Yes. Possibly. And comfortably.
Comfortably. Comfortably.
Yeah. Comfortably. Comfortably. Now, that brings us to one of your little problems, but we'll talk about that in a moment. The next one, Roman times.
Roman times.
That's it. Then delayed, silent E, delayed.
Delayed.
Yeah. Now, if you
Delayed.
notice how the difference is in the ED ending, sometimes it's a T ending, like dropped, and then other times it's a more D ending, like delayed. So it's delayed, dropped, dropped, delayed. Both silent E's, but a slightly different ending for that ED. T and D, okay?
Yeah. Dropped. Delayed.
Delayed.
Delayed. Delayed.
Yeah, try and
Yeah.
get that
It's
soft D at the end. Delayed.
delayed. Again. Delayed.
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 That's it. Word endings. You're getting there. You're getting there with your slowing down, looking at the word, thinking about it. You need to work on the word endings. I think you're so glad that you got the word out that you don't think about the ending. You just go straight on to the next word. So again, just be aware, be mindful of the word endings. Okay? So which brings us to the 2 word endings that you're having issues with. Well, the 3 word endings you're having issues with. Okay. Watch out for these. The ED ending. Sometimes it's a silent ending, silent E. Sometimes it sounds like a T. Sometimes it sounds like a D. And sometimes it sounds like an ed. Okay, so it's something you have to get a feeling for. You have to just develop a feeling. When is it a silent E? When is it a T ending? And when is it a D ending? Okay. The other thing you need to watch out for is when the word ends in ly, when it becomes an adverb. Yeah. So you had it a couple of times here. You had simply, wasn't simple. Then you had possibly, it wasn't possible, it was possibly. And again, comfortably. Yeah. So, yeah, that ly ending, don't just ignore it. Okay. And then the s ending when it's plural, or in this context when it's an adjective, Roman times, in Roman times. Don't ignore the S. You're dropping it a lot. You're swallowing it. So just again, concentrate on those word endings, okay? And then just last one, because I know what you studied at university. So multiplication of vulgar fractions, okay? Try that. Multiplication of vulgar fractions.
Multiplication.
Okay, let's start with this one then. Remember, when it's a long word, just split it into syllables. Multiplication. Multiplication. Try it.
Multiplication.
Yep. So then, multiplication of vulgar fractions.
Multiplication of a fraction.
Vulgar fractions.
Vulgar fraction.
Yeah.
Multiplication. Vulgar fraction.
Okay. And then a vulgar fraction is, there you go. It's nothing to do with it being vulgar as in telling a vulgar joke or something like that. It's purely to do with math, okay? Then the sum here, Eleanor, you love mathematics. How would you say this one? How would you say that sum?
Okay, 3/4 times 2 equals to 1 minus 1/2.
Okay. Difficult because of what's in the book. So it's not 3/4, 3/4.
Okay.
So 3/4. Yeah, we don't say 3/4. We say 3/4 times 2 equals. So what is 3/4 times 2? Quick mathematical. What's 2 3/4? What does that make?
1 and 1/2.
1.5. So 3/4 multiplied by 2 equals 1.5, or 3/4 times 2 is 1.5. Okay, so it's difficult in the book because they haven't got the symbols. Normally the 3/4 is a small 3 over a small line and a small 4. But when you've not got those symbols in your arsenal of text, then you might find it a little difficult. Let me just see. Oh, hang on. 3/4 symbol. I wonder if it'll work in here. Let's have a look. So what you're looking at really is this would probably have been easier for you to understand. Is that, yeah? Does that make more sense? Okay, you read it in full. So 3/4 multiplied by 2 equals 1.5. Try that, Reem.
Yes, 3/4 multiplied by 2 equal 1.5.
That's good. Yeah, equals. Don't forget this.
Equals.
Yeah.
Yes. Again, is I dropped it.
You just don't like it, so you
Equals.
ignore it.
Yeah.
Hi, tough guy. Okay, so, but nicely read. Well done. Any questions?
No, thanks very much,
You're
Leah.
welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so Eleanor, if you would like to read as soon as you're ready.
Yes,
Okay.
but
Oh, hang on a
just
second.
one
Yeah, Reem.
question.
Yep, go on, Reem.
Yes, yes, just one second. If we have 2 to 5, we read 2 to 5. I write them in the chat. I written in the chat if we have the fraction, not
That one.
3/4.
2/5. 2.
Two fifths.
Sorry, I didn't see that. I thought you were talking about the sum. 2/5. Okay.
Yeah, 2/5. Just put is on the number in the denominator.
On the ordinal number, yes, but not
Yeah.
for half and not for quarters. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got. In fact, I'll give you a link. I'll send you a link. Okay, Reem. Otherwise, we'll be here doing math the rest of the session. Okay. So Eleanor.
It was during the conversation, am I right?
Yes. Oh, sorry. Yes. During the conversation in which, yeah.
Okay, yeah. During the conversation in which the 6 years were lent, there were 4 children, so that sum comes right. It had been decided that 50 pounds in 2-shilling pieces was the right wish to have, and the lucky children who could have anything in the wide world by just wishing for it hurriedly started for the gravel pit to express their wishes to the summit. Martha caught them at the gate and insisted on their taking the baby with them. Not want him indeed! Why, everybody would want him a duck, with all their hearts they would. And you know you promised your ma to take him out every blessed day, said Martha. I know he did, said Robert in gloom, but I wish the lamb wasn't quite so young and small. It would be much better fun taking him out. He'll mend of his youngness with time, said Martha, and as for smallness, I don't think you'd fancy carrying of him any more, however big he was. Besides, he can walk a bit, bless his precious fat legs, a ducky. He feels the benefit of a new-laid egg, so he does, a pet. With this and a kiss, she plumped the lamb into Anthia's arms and went back to make new pinafores on the sewing machine. She was a rapid performer on this instrument. The lamb laughed with pleasure and said, "Walk away, Panty, Panty," and rode on Robert's back with yells of joy, and tried to feed Jane with stones, and altogether made himself so agreeable that nobody could long be sorry that he was of the party. The enthusiastic Jane even suggested that they should devote their week's wishes to assuring the baby's future by asking such gifts for him as the good fairies give to infant princes in proper fairy tales. Valentia soberly minded her that as the Sun Fairies' wishes only lasted till sunset, they could not ensure any benefit to the baby's later years. And Jane owned that it would be better to wish for £50 in 2-shilling pieces and buy the lamb a £3.15 rocking horse, like those in big stores, with a part of the money. It was settled that, as soon as they had wished for the money and got it, they would get Mr. Crispin to drive them into Rochester again, taking Martha with them, if they could not get out of taking her. And they would make a list of things they really wanted before they started. Full of high hopes and excellent resolutions, they went round the safe slow cart road to the gravel pits, and as they went in between the mounds of gravel, a sudden thought came to them, and would have turned their ruddy cheeks pale if they had been children in a book. Being real, live children, it only made them stop and look at each other with rather blank and silly expressions. For now they remembered that yesterday, when they had asked the summit for boundless wealth, and it was getting ready to fill the quarry with the minted gold of bright guineas, millions of them, it had told the children to run along outside the quarry, for fear they should be buried alive in the heavy splendid treasure. And they had run. And so it happened that they had not had time to mark the spot when the summit was, with the ringot stones as before. And it was this thought that put such silly expressions on their faces. "Never mind," said the hopeful Jane, "we'll soon find him." But this, though easily said, was hard in the doing. They looked, and though they found the seaside spades, nowhere could they find a sand fairy. At last they had to sit down and rest, not at all because they were weary or disheartened, of course, but because the lamb insisted on being put down, and you cannot look very carefully after anything you may have happened to lose in the sand, if you have an active baby to look after at the same time. Get someone to drop your best knife in the sand next time you go to the seashore, and then take your baby brother with you when you go to look for it, and you will see that I am right. The lamb, as
Okay,
Martha had
sorry, yeah,
said...
very good,
okay,
well done.
yeah,
Sorry, I'd muted my mic
yeah,
and then I was saying.
Oh.
Okay, very good, excellent, really, really good, because I tell you what, I'm in the forum, I'm writing down any mistakes, and I've got nothing to write.
Oh.
Perfect, well done. So, but any questions, anybody? Anybody got any questions about the text? Did you understand what happened when they said here, she plumped the lamb into Anthea's arms?
I have found it in the dictionary. Simply, she put the lamb into her arms,
Yeah, she put,
but
but
in a
in a
rapid way.
particular way, yeah.
So it's
In a sort of, blup, here you
Yeah.
are. So she put the lamb into Anthea's arms. It could be done very gently. It could be done quite viciously. There's nothing to tell you how it was done. But plumped is more... Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Eleanor. Plumped is more like dumping him into... She's like, there you go. But, and there's no argument. Poor lamb, yes. I was lamb with my sisters. I was that young baby. They never wanted to take me anywhere because I was slow, and they'd have to carry me when I was tired, and I know how Lamb felt. Okay. Any questions then? No? Then Shiny, it is your turn to read. As soon as you're ready, if you'd like to begin.
He watched, is that right? He watched his opportunity and threw a handful of sand into Anthea's face, and then suddenly burrowed his own head in the sand and waved his fat legs in the air. Then, of course, the sun got into his eyes, as it had into Anthea's, and he howled. The thoughtful Robert had brought one solid brown bottle of ginger beer with him, relying on a thirst that had never yet failed him. This had to be uncorked hurriedly. It was the only thing within reach, and it was necessary to wash the sun out of the lamb's eyes somehow. Of course, the ginger hurt horribly, and he howled more than ever. And amid his anguish of kicking, the bottle was upset, and the beautiful ginger beer frothed out into the sand and was lost forever. It was then that Robert, usually a very patient brother, so far forgot himself as to say, Anybody would want him indeed, only they don't. Martha doesn't, not really, or she'd jolly well keep him with her. He's a little nuisance. That's what he is. It's too bad. I only wish everybody did want him with all their hearts. We might get some peace in our lives. The lamb stopped howling now, because Jane had suddenly remembered that there is only one safe way of taking things out of but little children's eyes, and that is with your own soft, wet tongue. It's quite easy if you love the baby as much as you ought to. Then there was a little silence. Robert was not proud of himself for having been so cross, and the others were not proud of him either. You often notice that sort of silence when someone has said something it ought not to, and everyone else holds its tongue and waits for the one who oughtn't to have said it is sorry. The silence was broken by a sigh. A breath suddenly let out. The children's heads turned as if there had been a string tied to each nose, and someone had pulled all the strings at once. And everyone saw the sun fairy sitting quite close to them, with the expression which it used as a smile on its hairy face. Good morning, it said. I did that quite easily. Everyone wants him now. It doesn't matter, said Robert sulkily, because he knew he had been behaving rather like a pig. No matter who wants him, there's no one here to. Anyhow, ingratitude, said the Sammy. It's a dreadful voice. We're not ungrateful, Jane made haste to say, but we didn't really want that wish. Robert only just said it. Can you take it back and give us a new one? No, I can't, the Sand Fairy said shortly, chopping and changing. It's not business. You ought to be careful what you do wish. There was a little boy once. He'd wished for a please, instead of, and I think oh Cyrus, because he was too lazy to remember the easy names of everyday things, and his father had been very vexed with him, and had made him go to bed before tea time, and wouldn't let him go out in the nice Flint boat along with the other children. It was the annual school treat the next day, and he came and flung himself down near me on the morning of the treat. He kicked his little prehistoric legs about and said he wished he was dead, and of course then he was. How awful, said the children all together. Only till sunset, of course, the Summit said, till it was quite enough for his father and mother, and he called it when it woke up. I can tell you, he didn't turn to stone. I forget why, but there must have been some reason. They didn't know being dead is only being asleep, and you are bound to wake up somewhere or other, either where you go to sleep or in some better place. You may be sure he caught it, giving them such a turn. Why he wasn't allowed to test Megatherium for a month after that, nothing but oysters and periwinkles and common things like that. All the children were quite crushed by this terrible tale. They looked at the Summit in horror. Suddenly the lamb perceived that something brown and furry was near him. Poof, poof, poofy, he said, and made a grab. That is not a pussy, Anthea was beginning, when the Sun Fairy leaped back. Oh, my left whisker, he said. Don't let him touch me, he's wet. Its fur stood on end with horror, and indeed a good deal of the ginger beer had been spilled on the blue smock of the lamp.
Very
The
good.
Summit
Okay,
that
that's
with
it. Stop. Okay, very good. Nicely read, and well done. You got some rotten words there, didn't you? You did very well. Okay, so let's have a look at the individual words to start with. Okay. Ah, dear. It reminds me of the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, when you had all those long lists of fish. Okay, Shiny. The first word, bottle. Try and get that "o" sound, like odd, because otherwise it sounds too much like battle. So you've got battle of the bottle. Yeah? Try it. Battle of the bottle.
Battle of the Bottle.
That's better. Good. And then a nuisance. A nuisance.
Nuisance.
Yeah. Do you know what it means to be a nuisance? Have you ever been a nuisance?
I don't know what it
You
means.
don't know. Have I ever been? I don't know. You're a nuisance, are you, Eleanor? Okay, Eleanor, explain to Shiny, why do you think you're a nuisance?
You know, I'm always I always repeat, because I would like to speak like princess, and this, it's very annoying, so I am a nuisance.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's
Something
a
exciting.
nuisance, because to be a nuisance, you have to actually annoy other people. And I don't, that's
But
just something
I
you're trying
guess
to
you
do.
are annoyed,
No,
aren't
not
you?
at all. Have you?
No.
No.
Oh.
All you need to do is listen to some of the streams, especially when it's a live stream without any script or anything. And I and I don't do much, but I and and it's only when you've recorded it and you listen to it you think, oh my goodness, I've got to stop saying
But
Trump is a
I
big
have
nuisance, yeah.
another example. Have you watched this video Trump operettas?
I haven't.
Now
If you'd like to
the
share, that would be great. Share it on the
I
forum.
have
I won't have time now,
on the
but
forum.
oh, you have.
I
Okay, I
have
haven't seen it.
done, yeah,
Which thread?
yeah.
Which thread?
Trump versus operetta. Simply a new discussion and with your name. So
Oh,
perhaps
okay. Then I should
you
get a
you
notification.
you
I
have
shall
too
find
many
it.
not. But you have
Sounds fun.
so many, so I'm not surprised.
I
But
know.
anyway, they are singing to make through Trump's presidency, we will need a lot of booze, and then you can guess Trump is a nuisance because they can't help drinking.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I can't sing it, so you have to
Oh,
watch
what a
it on your own.
shame. Next karaoke
Yeah.
session, maybe.
It's but they are real singers. It's very well made.
Oh,
I was
excellent.
impressed.
Oh, it sounds
So,
fun.
yeah,
Sounds fun.
yeah. Watch it. Yeah, I was really laughing.
Well, thank you for sharing with me. I
A
will
lot,
find it. As
yeah.
you say, I get a lot of notifications, of course. So, yes, a public nuisance, somebody who annoys somebody. And children can be thought of, when children are being naughty and crying or arguing, people might think they're a nuisance. Okay, so the next word then is breath. Breath. We do say for the verb it's to breathe and to take your next breath. The noun.
breath,
That's it. Sound. Good. Good. Then the next word, in fact, I'll stick to my text here. It's difficult to scroll up and down. Is said. You're always saying said, like it's to say, yeah? And it is to say in the infinitive form, but in the past it suddenly becomes something like said. Yeah? Said. Try it.
said,
Yeah, so you could try this sentence. Okay, bear with me.
what did you say? He said,
Much better. Very good. Well done. The next one, again, it's like a verb, to sulk. And then to make it into an adverb, she said sulkily. So sulkily, sulkily. Try it.
sulkily,
That's it.
sulkily,
Yeah. So I don't want to go to bed, she said sulkily. Okay. Next one, haste. Haste.
haste,
Yeah, we have a saying in English. What's it? Less haste, more speed, I think. No, it's more speed, less haste. More speed, less haste, which you can apply to learning English. You'll make more progress if you don't try to do too much all at once. Slow down, take your time, be mindful of what you're doing in English, and you'll actually make better progress than if you're always trying to learn as many words as possible in as short a time as possible. Or maybe it's, less haste, more speed, less haste. But anyway, a haste. And then the next one, taste. Again, this A sound. So not test, taste. So a taste,
Taste.
test. Try that.
taste,
Yeah.
a taste test,
Perfect. Excellent. By George, I think she's got it. Now, this is about intonation, just how to say this particular sentence. Okay, so this is how I would say it. No matter who wants him, there's no one here to anyhow. Okay? Try it.
there's no one here too. Anyhow,
Yeah, so try the whole thing. No matter who wants him, there's no one here to anyhow.
no matter who wants him, there's no one here to anyhow.
Very good. Now the next one, let's have some fun. Plesiosaurus, plesiosaurus. Try it. Plesiosaurus.
Plesiosaurus,
Yeah. And then ichthyosaurus.
Ichthyosaurus, Ichthyosaurus,
Yeah, ichthyosaurus. And then I have no idea about this one. I really don't know what this one is, but Megatherium is how I pronounce it. Mega, as in big, and then atherium, so it's a big therium, whatever one of those is. Megatherium.
Megatherium,
Okay, so just dinosaur names. It's the sort of thing you learn at school when you're doing geology, history, and you're talking about the dinosaurs, along with the Tyrannosaurus and all those. Okay. But I've got a joke for you. Okay, so the question I want to ask you now is, this goes to everybody, what do you call a blind dinosaur? What's the answer to that question? What do you call a blind dinosaur? Any ideas? No? Nobody answering? Don't Google it. No? Do you think he saw us? Okay, you got it, Eleanor. Does
I
everybody
really
get
like
it?
it. Yeah. Yeah.
Does anybody get it?
It's very funny.
You just Googled it. Yeah. Do you think he saw us? Okay. Do you think he saw us? Do you think he saw us? Okay. Yes, dinosaur names are long. They're all based on sort of Latin and lots of syllables. So if you come across something like that, or like we did in the Latin names of fish in 20,000 Leagues, take your time and apply the bi-syllable route. Yeah. Do you think he saw us? Stegosaurus. Tyrannosaurus Rex. Tyrannosaurus Rex. Don't be too... it's just syllables. Yeah, just a long list of them. That's all. So break it down into syllables and give it a go. Yeah, okay. Then let me just go back to the thing. I just want to ask you if you all understand this. And he caught it when he woke up. So what does that mean?
Understood? I thought, am I right?
No.
No. Oh,
That's why I want to test you, see if you understood what it meant. What would happen if I said to Shiny, when you go into Discord, make sure you use the mic or you'll catch it. What does it mean? You'll catch it. You'll catch it if you don't use the mic. Any ideas? No? Means you'll be in trouble. You'll catch it when you get home. It means you'll be in trouble when you get home. Okay? So when he woke up, he caught it from his parents. He was in trouble and they punished him by making him eat, what was it, oysters and periwinkles for 4 weeks or something. Okay? Have you got it? It's the sort of thing parents say to children.
I got it.
Yeah?
But it's not obvious.
No, it's
I
not.
Didn't, use
Yeah,
it
that's
best.
the problem with some of these phrasal verbs. Oh, Eleanor's just crashed. Okay, she caught it. Okay. Okay, so tough guy. Have you got mic? Have you got sound?
Yes.
Yay! Excellent. And oh, let me just. I've lost connection to my timer. Bear with me a second. I don't know why. Okay, so tough guy, whenever you're ready, if you'd like to start reading. Don't know the part of disco.
Okay.
I don't know what you mean, Shiny. What do you mean the part of disco? Oh, Discord.
You say
Discord.
yeah.
Disco. I'm like, what disco? I'm like, are we going to a disco? Yay, party, party. No, I said, if you don't take the microphone when
Okay,
you're in
I-
Discord, yeah, you'll catch
Okay, I
it.
misunderstood.
You'll be in trouble. I'll punish you. Okay? It was just a joke. It was just a joke. Okay, so
Okay, so
tough
shall I
guy, when
start?
you're ready.
Okay, so I have to start.
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Okay. At the gate into the road, the party stopped to shift the lamp from Saddle's back to Robert's. And as they paused, a very smart open carriage came in sight, with a coachman and a groom on the box, and inside the carriage a lady, very grand indeed, with a dress all white lace and red ribbons, and a parasol all red and white, and a white fluffy dog on her lap, with a red ribbon round its neck. She looked at the children, and particularly at the baby, and she smiled at him. The children were used to this, for the lamb was, as all the servants said, a very taking child. So they so they waved their hands politely to the lady and expected her to drive on. But she did not. Instead, she made the stop, and she beckoned to Cyril. And when he went up to the carriage, she said, "What a dear darling duck of a baby! Oh, I should so like to adopt it. Do you think its mother would mind?" She would mind very much indeed," said Anthea shortly. "Oh, but I should bring it up in luxury. I'm Lady Chittenden. Chittenden, Lady Chittenden. You must have seen my photograph in the illustrated papers. They call me a beauty, you know. But of course, that's all nonsense anyway." She opened the carriage door and jumped out. She had the wonderfulest red high-heeled shoes with silver buckles. "Let me hold him a minute," she said, and she took the lamb and held him very awkwardly, as if she was not used to babies. She One second. Where was I? One second. Mm. Okay, then suddenly she jumped into the carriage with the lamb in her hands and slammed the door and said, "Drive on." The lamb roared, the light white dog barked, and the coachman hesitated. "Drive on, I tell you," cried the lady, and the coachman did. For, as he said afterwards, it was as much as his place was worth not to. The four children looked at each other, and then with one accord they rushed after the carriage and held on behind. Down the dusty road went the smart carriage, and after it, at double quick time, ran the twinkling lag of lambs, brothers and sisters. The lamb the lamb howled louder and louder, but presently his howls changed by slow degrees to hiccupy gurgles, and then all was still, and they knew he had gone to sleep. The carriage went on, and the 8 feet that twinkled through the dust were growing quite stiff and tired because before the carriage stopped and the lodge of a grand park at the lodge of a grand park, the children crouched down behind the carriage, and the lady got out. She looked at the baby as it lay on the carriage seat and hesitated. "The darling, I won't disturb it," she said, and went into the lodge to talk to the women there about a setting of eggs that hadn't turned out well. The coachman and footman sprang from the box and bent over the sleeping lamb. "Fine boy, wish he was mine," said the coachman. "He wouldn't favor you much," said the groom sorely. "Too handsome." The coachman pretended not to hear. He said, "Wonder at her. I do really hates kids. Got none of her own and can't abide dogs." The children crouched in the white dust under the carriage exchanged uncomfortable glances. "Tell you what," the coachman went on firmly, "Blowed if I don't hide the little nipper in the hedge and tell her his brothers took him, then I'll come back for him afterwards." "No, you don't," said the footman. I have took to that kid so as never sorry I have took to that kid so as never was. If anyone's to have him, it's me, so there." "Stop your talk," the coachman rejoined. "You don't want no kids, and if you did, one kid's the same as another to you. But I'm a man and a judge of breed. I knows a frustrate yearling when I see him. I'm a going to ave him, and least said soonest mended." I should I should have thought I should have thought," said the footman, sneering, sorry, sneeringly, sorry. "You had almost enough. What with Alfred and Albert and Louis and Victor Stanley and Helena Beatrice and another." The coachman hit the footman in the chin. The footman hit the coachman in the waistcoat. The next minute, the two were fighting here and there, in and out, up and down, and all over everywhere. And the little dog jumped on the box of the carriage and began barking like mad.
Very good. Well done. Yes, I noticed you crashed, Eleanor, but welcome back. Well done. I don't know what happened, but it must have just been a hiccup on your connection. So very nicely read, tough guy. Just a couple of individual words. We'll look at those first, okay?
Okay.
So just the first one is the name Cyril. I know it's a Y, but we don't say Cyril. It's Cyril. If you meet somebody and that's how they spell their name, it's Cyril, okay?
Cyril.
Yes,
Okay, you told
Cyril.
me this earlier as well.
Yeah, it's just one of those
Cyril.
weird pronunciations
Yeah.
of spellings of names. Okay, there are worse than that as well, but Cyril, it's just a normal, everyday, a bit old-fashioned now, I think, name. I don't think it's much in favour anymore. I can't think of a parent who would call their child Cyril nowadays, but you might find older people with the name Cyril. Don't snigger. Then don't forget, when it's plural, you need to pronounce the S. Now, it might be a soft S, like in talks, okay? The recent talks between Britain and the EU, talks. Or it might be a Z, like in legs. It's more of a Z sound, legs. Try it. Legs.
Okay, legs.
That's it. And then to howl. So to howl.
To howl.
Howled. So
Howl.
the past tense howled.
Howl.
Yeah. Okay. And that's we sometimes do say that babies howl. They cry, but if they're really crying loudly, we might say they're howling. Okay. And the last one, that ubble at the end. Okay, it's not table. I know it looks like table, so a table, but it's uncomfortable or comfortable. Try it.
Okay. Uncomfortable.
That's it. Good. Okay, and then just a little correction. I think you've either got a different text or you had a little brain burp. So it was the little white dog barked, not the light white dog. The little white dog.
Okay.
Try it.
Okay, the little white dog.
That's it.
The little white dog bark.
That's it. You get a smiley for your at correction instead of an at. Yep. Very good. Well done. I love it when you correct yourself. And then I've just got a couple of questions just to make sure everybody knows. What did he mean when he said too handsome? What do you think the person meant? Too handsome.
Do not know. probably handsome.
Yes, that little apostrophe says there's a missing letter, and people often, what we call it, dropping your H. Yeah, dropping the H. And in some dialects, in some areas with different accents in the UK, if you went to Nottingham, for example, you wouldn't go to Nottingham, you'd go to Nottingham because they drop the H, okay? How are you? Hello instead of hello, okay? So in this case, it just says this guy came from an area where they drop the H, and instead of saying he's too handsome, he said he's too handsome. Okay? And then on this one, what does it mean when he says, I'm a gonna have him? Oh gosh, I can't even do it myself. I'm a going to have him, and Lee said soon as mended. So what would that be if it was written correctly or spoken correctly?
I'm going to have him.
Yes, I'm going, not I'm a. That's a bit of dialect. I'm going to have him, and then?
At least. Right?
And least said soonest mended. Now, that's an interesting little saying we have. Wondering if Eleanor has already looked it up. Least said soonest mended. What do you think that might mean?
You didn't talk about something much, but you did what had to be done, right? Without saying a lot about it.
Yeah, exactly. If you're doing something wrong, if you're doing something that's not quite 100% within your own moral compass, maybe, don't talk about it, because then everything will be okay more quickly. Okay, so
Okay.
as long as we don't talk about it, it'll be all right. So, any questions other than what we've just discussed? Anything you're not sure of?
Mm, yes. One second.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'm not feeling well today. One second. Where was that sentence? That person. One second. Let me. I have, yes. Said the footman, I have took to that kid, so as never was. I have took to that kid, so as never was. What does
Yes,
it
good.
mean?
Yeah, to take to something. Okay. Now, I have took to that kid again. Took to is just, it's bad grammar. This happens all the time in different areas of the UK. Anybody who read Dracula with us and Pride and Prejudice occasionally, it's one of the reasons we've never read Wuthering Heights, because it's so full of that kind of English. It's nigh on impossible for a non-native speaker to understand. But yeah,
Okay.
I have taken to that child would be the correct. So I have taken to him. Okay.
Okay.
But that
Okay,
doesn't
so
help
yes,
you with
actually
this
I.
idea to take to something. Okay. So I didn't used to like
Could
Marmite,
you.
but I've taken to it recently. I haven't, by the way.
Okay, you have just started liking something that you didn't like earlier.
Yes.
I,
That's
I, I
it.
felt
Yes,
sudden
I read about.
affection.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. I didn't used to like learning English, but since I joined the network, I've really taken to it.
Okay, and you were talking
but
about the pronunciation. Actually, I was watching a movie. The name of the movie was Summer Scar. I think that you might have watched it as well. British movie.
Sorry, what was the
So
name of
the
the movie
accent was
again?
pretty.
Summer Star?
Summer Scar. Scar. SCAR.
Summer
Summer Scar.
Scar? No, I
Yes.
haven't heard of
Summer
it.
Scar.
That,
No?
that it?
Okay, I watched that movie and the pronunciation was pretty, difficult to understand. And there was a person, he said, uh, touch it. And his pronunciation was like, touch it.
Yeah.
So I was,
It's why a lot of people will learn very formal English nicely from proper learning materials, and then they'll pass all their exams and their tests, and then they'll go to England. They'll get at Heathrow. They'll land at Heathrow, um, and suddenly they'll try and communicate with the cab driver or the taxi driver, and they won't be able to understand a bloody word.
And actually, I noticed one more thing.
Hmm.
One of them said, "It don't."
Yeah,
It don't. So
yeah.
I was
It don't
pretty.
instead
I
of
mean,
it
I wasn't
doesn't.
expecting that. I thought that Americans did that only.
No, 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 no. I mean,
No. Okay.
every variation on, and every possible variation on how to say something exists somewhere. Doesn't make it wrong. It's what I call non-standard English. Okay, and it does mean that
Yes. Yes.
by
Yes.
watching
Yes.
difficult films like that, Tough, you're doing a good job because you're opening yourself up to the fact that English isn't a language that is always going to be exactly how you were taught it. You have to be flexible. You have to work out what the person means by the context sometimes. Okay?
Yes.
But well done, well done. And in some British films, especially, there are subtitles provided for American audiences, okay? Because we do have some very strong dialects, and Americans, I think it was Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. I haven't watched it because it's very violent, but I know that it was provided in the US with subtitles. They
Yes. Yes.
managed with
Actually, when I
Downton
started
Abbey,
that
okay,
movie,
but other ones, when you go Estuarine or Cockney or Scottish, then yeah, subtitles are required.
no, actually, yes, their accent was pretty weird because by the time they started speaking, I had already understood that that wasn't an American movie. That
I
was a British movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, that was pretty hard for me to understand the
Yeah.
accent.
Yes, no,
I
I can
was I
understand.
was
It might be
listening
hard
pretty
for me to
closely.
understand as well. I mean, don't forget, these things can be um, a problem for Brits. If you've lived in one area and grown up in that area, you understand that, and then you move to another area. So from Nottingham to Bristol, suddenly the pronunciation changes dramatically. Bristle instead of Bristol,
Okay.
and everything ends in ul. But after a while, your ears get tuned in. I'm going to look up Summer Scar because I haven't. Summer Scar or Summer Scarf, or what was it?
Summer scar. SCAR. Like a scar
SCAR.
on
No, I've
somebody's
never heard
face.
of it.
Yes.
How come I've missed this?
Like a scar on Harry Potter's forehead.
Plural. Summer
Yeah.
Scars.
Yes.
Don't forget the
Probably
plural.
scars
No, I
actually. Yeah.
couldn't find it under Summer Scar. Summer Scars. Okay. Oh, it's a horror film. Oh, no wonder I haven't watched it. I don't watch horror.
Uh, yeah, you can say that there is antagonist, okay, that is a psychopath, psychotic kind of person, and that person just tries to molest few kids
Oh my
in
god.
the woods.
Okay.
Uh,
As they do.
yeah.
Okay. A British horror film, 2007. No, never heard of it, but I'm just trying to figure out where they might have come, where it was set. It doesn't really say where it was set because that might tell me a little bit about the. I might listen to a little bit of it on YouTube, but I won't watch the whole film. I don't watch horror films. I don't like waking up screaming. Okay.
Okay.
I'm far too sensitive.
But I only watch horror movies. I mean, these kind of psychopath movies like Texas Chainsaw Massacre
Oh, I've not
and
watched that
Gruesome.
either. No way.
Okay, so you should watch that. Toby Hooper,
No.
the one that was directed by Toby Hooper. Yes, that is the best one. I mean, a lot of people they tried making that film again afterwards, but they couldn't do that. But
Exactly.
Toby Hooper, I mean, I salute that person.
If you ever get the chance to speak to my hubby, ask him why I don't watch horror films. He has to live with me. He doesn't want me to watch horror films either. Even spoof horror films upset me. And it's not at the time, it's afterwards. It all comes out in my dreams later. and then I get really bad nightmares. So it's just not worth that bit of entertainment. It's not worth it. I know, I'm
Okay.
just a sensitive soul. I'm his princess.
Okay, so have you heard about the human centipede?
I've heard
Have
about
you heard
it. I
about
think
it?
it's a disgusting concept. I just wouldn't watch it. Honestly, Tuff, you'll not convince me to watch a film like that. I really and all those ones where there was Saw, was it Saw? I honestly I can't understand why people even make films like that. But different strokes. I know other people find it entertaining. They can separate reality and entertainment. I just it gets mixed up with my dreams, and then I am not joking. I'll wake up fighting the duvet and screaming and crying, and it's just not worth it. I just don't put myself through that. You neither. I know, Eleanor. I know. But some people watch it without any problem. It's fine. Different strokes and all that. But give me Pride and Prejudice over the human centipede any day. Okay, so on that note, if there are no more questions, we'll finish. I'll stop streaming. Um, Anything you want to ask before I finish? Before we finish? You all happy? Okay, so don't forget next week, before you join the session, go to the forum, log in, go to the book reading page, and it will tell you there's a link at the top to the book, and the last post with the corrections in it will tell you where we got up to this week. Okay, so you can actually arrive at the session prepared on the right page at the right place. Okay, just a little hint. Eleanor, you were trying to say something. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh, I would like only to say that I'm happy. So it's
I'm
good
happy you're
news.
happy.
Oh,
Okay, so
great.
take care, everybody. Don't forget, there's no sessions tomorrow. Don't try and find me. I'm going to be in an exam room, so wish me luck. Okay. Keep your fingers crossed for me. It's going to be a tough one, and I will watch Trump. I'm watching him very carefully. Thank you, tough guy. Take care, everybody. Bye.